Hi there. So we're looking at the insights for February 18th through the 24th. How are you doing? It's been a pretty crazy wild ride. I'm Jen Duchenne, and I am the creator of the Illuminating Journey Cards. I have prepared the cards for the weekly reading. What do you need to know to embrace this week? We do have a full moon, Chiron moving into Aries, so there's a lot of movement, this push to wake up to the freedom of who we are, to kind of let go of this idea that we are victimized in some way or held back by others. So taking back the control. I prepared the cards, so let's see what the cards are bringing. But I can just tell you from the on a numbers way. From the numbers, the 18 is about this ending or this releasing of that kind of egoic concept that we must control things, and there's a very emotional attachment to certain things, and that letting go allows us to open our hearts. And the 24th is about claiming what is ours, like truly being of service in the way we were meant to be. So it's a very powerful week. Let's see what the cards have to offer us. First card, oops, we have the number 8, Soul Portal. So these are Soul Portal cards I created. And of course, they are cards that when you look into them, you receive information that's just for you. And this card is telling me that one of the interesting things, or the key factors for this week, is to focus on what you need to focus on. So there's a determination that's coming through. I'm definitely getting a lot of energy from the lioness right here. She's on the hunt, in a sense, hunting, focusing on what is it that she needs to capture or to find. What is she looking for? What is she discovering? So there's and the other thing that's interesting and catching my eye is this stepped arrangement. Here, 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 here. There's this continuous kind of progress that's being indicated by this card. Like, this is a step-by-step process. When you're on the hunt, when you're looking for the thing that's yours to bring home, that will feed your soul, feed your needs, create abundance, and create this energy of the golden apples. There is this sense of determination, but also this determination of taking things one step at a time. So allowing your focus to be steady, being aware that there are always distractions, and choosing not to be pulled into the distraction, but instead keep the focus. So one of the interesting things about when you are a lioness, or that's what's coming through, is that you have a keen eye, a keen sense of stillness, that your listening powers are acute. So this allows you to really listen to the signals or the energies that are for you. What are the messages that are for you? What are the actions you need to take? What's the direction you're going in? Knowing that you have a message, you have information to process and deliver. So this is about the message for you. Even though you're a message bringer to the world in some way, you need to be clear about what that message is. So this is what I'm getting from this card. And let's see what the second card is. So the second card is interesting. Here's another 8, right? The first one was an 8, and this is number 26, which also adds up to an 8. So I find that fascinating. I call this card the Golden Palace. What's interesting about this card is that it is about bringing your desires to life by nurturing them in the Golden Palace. Now, many of us have ideas about who we think we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to be doing. And this golden palace is a place where we can seed and nurture. So not every dream we have is something we're going to bring alive, and we're certainly not going to bring it alive all at the same time. So this is about going into the palace, going into that sense of self, and bringing through or focusing, finding that area that feels ripe for moving forward. Where in the golden palace is that room of the imagination that's demanding to be freed and demanding your attention to be nurtured, so you can create the continual appearance and foundation of this golden palace. In order to keep the golden palace alive, this idea of you being this abundant being, you need to create and nurture and foster this energy to bring it alive. So I think it very much echoes the idea of the 8, focusing on what is yours, not allowing distractions. Like in the golden palace, there are many rooms, many dreams to seed. And of course, you have to recognize that you cannot seed everything at the same time, right? You have to, the thing you're seeding has to have your attention, and other things may need a little attention, but they're in the back, or they're coming later, or they're past their prime. But for now, this is the space. So what's the room, what's the item in the golden palace that is calling you right now to be nurtured, to be focused? And we're going to bring in this idea of opening your eyes, your mind, your sense of self. You know, you may have hidden or been hidden behind layers of needing to, perform because of an appearance of how it looks. And the golden palace is telling you, you're in charge of this journey, so you're the one that determines what you focus on and how much effort you want to put into it. It takes courage, it takes effort, it takes this diligent devotion to what you're creating, to this deepening sense of who you are. And let's see what the third card is. And interesting. So these cards, for those of you who don't know, have there's 3 different types of cards in the Illuminating Journey deck. And one of them is the soul portals that you just saw, and then there's also the tools. So this liquid, it says potion for motion is what it says over there. This is the liquid water of nourishment. It's that idea that, there's the fable of Jesus, for instance, turning water into wine. And what's striking me about this idea of, the idea of water, the flow, of allowing your thirst to be quenched, the thing that you're desiring so much needs sustenance, right? You need to water the things that you're building. You need you grow things by adding water. You also create wine out of water, in the sense that you can create different things from water, but water is a key ingredient. So not only does it quench your thirst, it feeds the things you're growing in that golden palace, the focus. It feeds your focus. You don't want to burn out. You need to be creating the balance and the strength within you to be open and flowing, as well as set boundaries where you need to. You can't just all be open. You can't just be accepting of every idea. You have to be discerning. So the water gives you pause. It allows you to nourish yourself, to put yourself in the water bath, underwater. Things underwater change shape. Ink runs underwater. And the amazing thing about that is that it takes you away from that need to control the words, to control how things are coming up, but just to kind of allow it to show you. Let the journey you're on, this desire you're focusing on and building, let it lead you, instead of you trying to force it to go where you want it to go. So I think that's pretty profound in terms of water and liquid, and what liquid does. It moves us. Water doesn't break through rocks, it moves around it. It refuses obstacles in the sense that it doesn't see an obstacle as something that it has to stop at, but it sees it as something it can go around or under or over, and slowly and gently and kindly soften the edges. And that's what water does. It softens the edges. So allowing the water and the liquid of what you're building and focusing on to be softened by the flow, filling yourself up, filling this journey up with joy, with the expansion. You know, you want to plump up the experience instead of feeling resistance and I can't do this and this is too hard, which of course is a natural thing when you're going through change. Like we're going through this major change where we're healing. And how do we heal? We heal by not getting over something, like people say, but in a way getting over it in the sense that you washing the water over the rock. The rock is still there, but instead of being stopped by the rock, you find the ways to kind of get intimate with the rock, in a sense, right? And that intimacy allows you to recognize that when struggle comes up, doubt, or barriers are formed, that it's a moment to engage with this energy and to kind of open yourself up and listen and focus and go, oh, let me sit with this. Maybe there's something else I can do. Like, I know I still want to get over, but what is the way? And it reminds me of these heroes' journeys or heroine journeys where sometimes in the hardest places we have to sit and take a moment. The hero, he always takes a moment to sit and wonder, what am I going to do? I don't know how to get past this. And they wait, and then usually someone shows up, right? Someone or something shows up to give them that little piece that helps them along the way. And so think of this water, this liquid, this potion for motion as that moment to pause, sit down, have a drink, kind of open yourself up, open up your imagination, drop those old thinking habits and go, okay, how else can I see this? What else can I do? Is there another way I can get to where I need to go? Or is there another way I can see this problem so that it becomes a solution? Like the solution presents itself. And that's part of this whole idea of, if you think about it, go back to the original card, the Soul Portal 8, which is about the huntress, the lioness who's a keen hunter, and she knows that her diligence and her devotion and her determination and her patience brings her what she's looking for. You just have to wait sometimes. Sometimes you're just not galloping forward. We're in this time where you might feel the urge to just burst forward and just do whatever you want, which is great. But sometimes you need to strategize, to stop and think, what would be the best way to kind of lead myself forward, to traverse or travel through this time. Like, what do I want to bring? And remembering the seating in the Golden Palace. What is it? What room in the palace? What view? What energy are you focusing on that feels right to you to foster and, of course, to feed with this potion for motion? So I hope that helps you for this week. I find that quite fascinating what the cards have revealed, because I never know what they're going to say. I'm Jen Duchenne, of course. I mentioned that. And if you're interested in having your own Illuminating Journey Cards, you can go to jenduchenne.com/Illuminating Journey Cards. I'll put a link below. And I am going to be introducing a forecast salon that I'm going to be offering for people that are interested. So you can keep an eye out for that in the next few weeks coming up. I'm very excited about it. And of course, I want to hear what you saw in the cards and how this reading resonated or didn't for you. What came up for you? Maybe you got something different. These cards speak to each of us differently. This is a whole new thing, helping us to kind of bridge between the old and the new, bringing in wisdom that helps us expand our imagination. So have an amazing week, and leave me a note. Yes, leave me a note to tell me how it went for you. And of course, subscribe to my channel. Till next week.